Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still David Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello, I'm Phil Catchbolt and welcome to another episode of Ringing the Blues, your podcast dedicated to the mighty Chairboys. On this week's show, we've got an in-depth interview with Wycombe keeper David Stockdale.
Who told you that? Back in Fenway?
We've got the action and reaction from the Wycombe game against Luton Town at Adams Park. Plus, I caught up with Rob Couhig and his nephew Pete after the game.
I'm planning for the championship still, Philip. Nothing's changed.
But first, let's head to Mexico City for the championship results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. My name is Uri, and here are the results for the Championship League. Millwall 0, Swansea City 3, Barnsley 2, Middlesbrough 0, Birmingham City 2, Stoke City 0, Bournemouth 4, Coventry City 1, Bristol City 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Cardiff City 2, Blackburn Rovers 2, Derby County 0, Norwich City 1, Huddersfield Town 0, Rotherham United 0, Preston North End 0, Brentford 5, Queen's Park Rangers 4, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Luton Town 3. Oh my god. So, Chairboy Spanish this week. You know, the Chairboys have been in decent form because of a change of formation to 3 centre backs. So, this week, it's easy. 3, tres. Number 3, número 3. Back, atrás. Back, atrás. 3 at the back. Tres, atrás. Very easy, right? 3 at the back, tres atrás. Until next week, and all the luck to the Chairboys. Come on, guys, we can do it. And back to England with my amigo Phil Catchpole at the Ringing the Blues Studios. Bye-bye, adios.
Wycombe were on good form after a very happy Easter, 2 wins back-to-back, but could they beat Luton at Adams Park for the first time in their history? Here's what happened.
Big PH is away into the box and then Musgrave goes down. That is a penalty and this will be contentious because Pearson feels that he was fouled in the build-up. The ball's come back to Musgrave. He's gone down from a challenge and the referee immediately points to the spot. Dometti comes forwards now and it's put into the bottom corner. Sluga went the right way. He got a touch on it, but Wycombe have the lead here. It's Wycombe 1, Luton 0.
Wycombe have made a little bit of a mistake in midfield, but rescued by Knight, and then Knight high on Clark with quite a lunging tackle and he's off. It's a red card for Josh Knight, is it? He just lunged in there and has caught Clark, and referee Langford had no hesitation.
We're now down to Moncur, and it will be Moncur. It goes low and into the bottom corner. And Moncur, an instant impact from the sub. Stockdale was getting down to his left. He couldn't get down quick enough. And Moncur with a lovely free kick levels things here at Adams Park. It's Wycombe 1, Luton 1. Moncur, the goal scorer for Luton, on the left-hand side now, pokes it wide to Loa, goes inside. That's a great goal from Kazenga Loa. What a goal from the Luton substitute. The subs have made the difference, and he puts it into the top corner, a right-footed curler, and it's Wycombe 1, Luton 2. Moncur's in a little bit of space on that right channel, releases it to Cornick. Cornick looks up, right-footed cross first time is a decent one, and Abayo gets up and there is his goal, and Luton are home and host here. Wycombe 1, Luton 3. Adebayo, after missing a chance a few minutes ago, with a towering header from a first-time Cornick cross.
We absolutely gutted that the referee's made that decision. He's reached to his pocket even before Josh Knight got up off the floor. It's not a red card. Josh has slipped. There's no studge sign. It's not dangerous. If you look at Alex Mowatt's tackle for Barnsley on Scott Cashcott that got a red card, it's probably worse. that got rescinded. I'm fully expecting that one to be overturned because for me, the referee's got to take into account the slip, there's nothing in it. There's nothing at all, and he's changed the game. He's cost us the result, in my opinion. I think with 11 against 11, Luton really, I don't know what their shot count was, but I think it was quite low, and we looked like we were going to score. We looked like a dangerous team. But at 10 men, it's tough, It's tough in the Championship, never mind Leagues 1 and 2. So, gutted that Josh has gone off and it takes one of our key performers out of the team. I'm hoping we get him back for next week. But we've got to win 5 out of 5 now. We're well capable of that with the way we're playing. Just need the rub of the green again a little bit.
Wycombe were excellent in the first half, and that decision, Luton came out with many changes at half-time, and we were knocking on the Wycombe door and you were having to dig deep. That decision has also deprived the neutral, if you will, of what was a really intriguing game at that point.
It was a fantastic game of football, wasn't it? A real battle in the first half. I think Luton came to probably try and out-physical us, and that wasn't going to happen, not with my boys. They stand up to any fight and win it, and we did in that first half, and we fully deserved the lead at half-time. But second half, like I say, 10 versus 11, yep. The odds are that the 10 are going to lose more times than that, and they took advantage of us having 10 men. That's the story of the game for me, and disappointed that, like I say, the ref didn't see it differently, because I think we did. I think it wasn't a game of any malice or any challenges that has probably been in the past. It was quite a decent game, real battling. But we never opened up until 10 men, and that's the story. But we'll go again. We'll pick ourselves up. I'm not going to be going home crying into anything. I'll be happy. I'll be buzzing. I'll be picking these boys up, and we've got a huge game now next weekend, and we want to be making sure that we try and get Josh available for that, because we don't believe he should have been sent off, and 1 or 2 injuries returning as well, all positive. Really looking forward to this, and we can do this, no problem.
Results elsewhere have gone your way. Wycombe didn't get the win that would have really, really put you back up there, but is it now 5 from 5? Nothing's really changed.
It was 6 from 6. It's now 5 from 5, and I'll keep saying however many points we need, we'll go for. We are fighters, and we are going into every game scrapping. You look at that team today in that first half. They tried to come here and maybe put one over on us on the physical side, and like I say, that ain't going to happen here. We've been doing that for too long. The quality of Anis and Addy and Uchi, it's a real progressive thing we're doing here at Wycombe Wanderers. The structures come in, the teams come in, and we're talking about Championship football. It's still pinch myself time for me, and I can't wait to get in Monday morning and work on these boys getting their heads picked up, and then saying, right, we can go and beat Swansea next week, no problem.
So, Luton complete the league double over Wycombe Wanderers for this season and maintain their unbeaten record at Adams Park. Here's what the Hatters fans had to say after the game. Shut up, yeah.
So, a 2-minute silence plus a bit of added time, as it was Wycombe. Then the first half was absolutely dire, but only what we'd all expect from those cheating thugs. But they usually get what they deserve against us at their place, and I really hope we've put the final nail in their Championship coffin. I reckon Nathan will say you stand up to them, fight against them, and then play football. And to be fair, that's what we did.
I can see you.
My wife's analogy of that game was 80 minutes of fumbling foreplay, followed by 10 minutes of pure, unadulterated pleasure.
Dr. Ince.
A decent game in the end. The sending off made all the difference, and our subs came on and played well. The first half was turgid, and unfortunately, the second half performance is more of a rarity for us than the first.
Odd job.
I felt a bit sorry for Wycombe. They huffed and puffed, but we had 7 attacking players on the field, so I always felt once we got one, we'd get more. Another good win in outclassing a team below us.
Earls.
Our subs were great today. It's good to see Jones being so positive with his changes in the past few weeks.
Ricky H.
When does Moncur not deliver? That's what happens when you bring footballers on the pitch. Loire, KDH and Moncur, players that can see a pass, play a pass, control the ball and finish. That's what's needed, not hoofball merchants and headless chickens.
Dave Old Bedford.
We're staying up again. And our Adebayo is better than theirs.
S.
15 and counting unbeaten at Adams Park. In fact, we've never lost. First double over them since 2003 as well.
Habby Hatter.
25% of our away goals this season came in just 8 minutes against Wycombe.
Big D.
Said at the start of the season I was glad Wycombe were in our division this year, as it's 6 points in the bag straight away. Come on, you Hatters.
Gothenburg Hatter.
When Wycombe gave us a helping hand by going down to 10 men, you felt the goals would come. Well done, lads. Championship football is now secured and Wycombe can begin preparing for a League One relegation battle next season. A bit of death metal for Gareth tonight to put him in the mood?
Boz.
Ainsworth looks like a hooker on her day off. No shame.
Well, it's often said that you've got to be a bit crazy to be a goalkeeper, and David Stockdale certainly fits into that mould. He's had to be patient for his chance this season for Wycombe Wanderers, but he's taken it with both gloves, with several clean sheets and an appearance in the Championship Team of the Week recently. Well, I caught up with Stocko after the Wycombe Wanderers squad photo shoot the other day. It's an interview I've been trying to make happen for the last couple of months, even before he got back in the team, because his story, I think, is really interesting, what's happened to his career. Started off by asking him about that Championship Team of the Week inclusion and the recent clean sheets.
Yeah, it seems like hard work from everyone's paying off. The work on the training ground, you can see, everyone can see the, I don't say difference, but we've been making some changes and it's coming to light now.
On Twitter you said, never stop believing. It's been a long road back. I mean, this last 4 or 5 years for you as a professional footballer, you must have doubted whether you would have got a Team of the Week in the Championship or a run of games and clean sheets ever again.
I didn't doubt it. I just knew it was going to be terribly hard after what had happened. So being able to give a good account of myself when I did get back, it's always nice recognition, but it was more, it wasn't being flashy or anything like that. It was more about the recognition to tell people that you can keep going, you can do it, and again, not to give up.
So for people who might not be aware of your story, I mean, Championship Team of the season, promoted with Brighton into the Premier League, a transfer, and then what happened?
I just got told I wasn't going to be involved after the first season and trained with the under-18s.
This is at Birmingham?
Yeah, so I spent 2 years basically on loan, emergency loans, got nicknamed Wonga for the short-term loan specialist, and then eventually back to Wycombe for the last part of the League One season.
And, I mean, going back to Brighton, you can't do any better than being in the Championship Team of the season, a promoted team. Did it hurt not getting that chance to play at the top level?
No, not really. I made my decisions on family. My daughter was going through a GCSEs and I needed a longer term contract, which Brighton fully understood, and I went to Birmingham and Brighton will still be there, and they invited me back, so I'll go back and watch sometime soon.
And Birmingham then, what made you want to sign there, and where did it go wrong so quickly?
Well, Harry was in. I spoke to him, and he had some big things planned, some great signings, a longer-term contract, just for my family. So we all moved, and look, the first season didn't go to plan for anyone. We went through a few managers, and then towards the back end we stayed up, which was great. And I think it was nice to start again and just say, right, let's go for it. Another 2 years to try and get into the Premier League, and it was hopes dashed, as they say. Spent a long time with the under-18s, which was humbling. I managed to make some great friends. Jude, he lives near me, or did live near me. So I used to bring him into training and stuff and help out with other young pros now. So it wasn't all lost, as we say. It was nice to be able to give back as well, and I made some decisions to really help those that was coming through, and for the benefit of Birmingham City Football Club going through.
Was it fair to say your mission from first team football at Birmingham wasn't really down to football?
I don't know. I still don't know the answer to that to this day. I don't believe so. But look, I'm not the manager. I'm not the CEO. I'm not the chairman. So I have to do what I'm told.
Footballers' careers, I mean, there's so many variables: chairman, money, injuries, form, mental health, everything else. It's a very brittle career, isn't it? Did that kind of underline just how vulnerable a footballer is? Yeah,
it made me realise that. I mean, I've been there as a YTS. I mean, they don't do YTS schemes anymore. It humbled me, not because I was a cocky person or anything. Just the fact that you're at the hands of other people, and you can only do so much. And when you're not picked to do your job, you can't do your job. That's it. It's like being in a job and someone saying don't do that. So I was just sat not doing the job. I think missing the football was the big thing, and then coming to Wycombe it brought my love back. The camaraderie around the place, the owners, the new owners, the old owners when I was here on the first short-term loan. It was just a place that I knew that I'd enjoy, and I could be myself, and there was no about my character. It's fun every day. Every day is a smile, a joke, and some people might not like that.
Your character's been sort of well documented in your short time at Wycombe Wanderers. Would you say your experiences at Birmingham have kind of not made you the character it is, but brought that side out and maybe allowed yourself not to take yourself quite so seriously off the pitch?
No, I was like this before. I was like that in my first year at Birmingham. But the stresses that was on and the pressure. Birmingham City Football Club is a massive club, great fans. And I wanted to do well for them, and not being able to overturn my fortunes, how it started, was a big thing for me. So being able to relinquish that was not an easy thing, and it took me a while to realise you're not going to play for this football club again. And look, I'll still hold Birmingham fans, because although the majority, I had a couple that weren't happy, but they didn't know the full situation. But a lot of them were hard-working fans. They pay the money to come. They give their opinion, whether it's right or wrong, but they tell you. And I don't mind that. And they're right. Look, if you're not doing your job, you get told. And I've got no problem with that. So I wish the fans and the team, the group of lads that they had when I was there, some of them still there, great lads.
Throwing yourself into developing the younger players, the Jude Bellinghams you mentioned as well, that's quite a selfless thing to do, when you've been treated badly, so to speak. Was that an instant decision, or did it take time to kind of use that as your reaction?
I must highlight, I didn't develop them as in players. I was there, and you have to be a professional still. You're still a professional. They look up to you. So in the right direction off the field, things that I might have not done as a professional that I think are important now. Being able to express that, and they'd listen to you. And look, Jude is Jude now. You can see how he is, and there's other young lads that have come through and played in the first team. And I wouldn't say that I've developed them football-wise, but I've helped them. And sometimes when you're at that age, like, something might happen in training or anything, being able to speak to someone like me or another of those lads that was out of the team, it just highlights that it is okay. Like, people do go through these things and how to cope and how to move on. Sometimes when I was a kid, you're stuck with those for... I can remember times where I've been thinking about things for 6 weeks and it was nothing in the end. And pros would now say, don't worry about that. Like, but you don't think like that as a kid. So I was trying to form them mentally for what's ahead. And not because I've got kids, I think it was a thing that just came instantly. I'm in that group, so how the best do I leave that group better than when I came into it?
It's quite a selfless thing, but I'm guessing being a goalkeeper is quite selfless as well, because only one goalkeeper can play in a team. Let's go back to this season. You've had to sit yourself out, and now you're in, you're having a great run, but you're playing, it means that Rocky isn't.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, I'm guessing you must have to be quite selfless.
Yeah, it's a funny old thing, as most people say goalkeepers are a strange old breed, but we have an understanding. The goalkeepers union, everyone's heard of it. It's basically whoever's playing, you do the best for them, and that could be doing your best in training could force them to do better. And although it sounds like a twisted thing, but if they don't, then you're in, and then they will do the same. And it's the same that I did for Rocky going through the playoffs. If he was going through a bit where, say, he was not having a great session, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll come good. You're fine. And it proved the case. And then he kept going this season, which, like I said to him, look, I can't say anything. I just sit there and say, well done, because you've done well. Unfortunately, he got injured, and I can only do what I can do and play as well as I can. If I hadn't have played well, he would have been back in. It's simple as that, and he's done the same what I did for him. Mentally,
how tough was it? Wycombe, jubilant, those scenes at Wembley will live with the fans and the players forever. You played your part, but you weren't in goal. Mentally, how tough was that?
Easy, because if I can play a part, the manager picks a team. You have to accept that, whether you like it or not. How do you help? By not playing, and that's getting behind the lads, using every bit of experience I've had in them situations to guide people through and bring the best out, especially when it's a big game at Wembley to go up to the Championship. And if somebody said, would you sacrifice not playing again to go up again, I'd do it every day.
I've spoken to a lot of footballers in the last 4 or 5 years. I'm going to say that I don't think everyone's got your attitude. Is that fair to say across football?
Everybody's different, and like you're at Wycombe, so everybody can be different. And I've got no problem with someone saying I'd rather play and not go up. It's very individualistic, but I'm out to do the best. I was still in that squad, whether I didn't play or not. I still managed to get a medal. I still was a part of history, and I'd rather be a part of the club's history than not be in the history books, but being there. Do you understand? It's hard to explain, but I'm very much in it for my memories. You know, I won't go out of football and say, oh, what did you think of my time in football? I'll be there for me. I was part of it. I was there. So if somebody said, oh, you were in that losing team, it doesn't sound as good as being on the bench in a winning team. You know what I mean? I'm a winner. So if I have to win by sitting on a bench, I'll do that, because you will have played some part in that.
When you were going back to Birmingham briefly, when you were there, I mean, you were getting paid well. You don't have to tell me what you were getting paid, but you were getting paid well. If someone offered to you to give 2/3 of your wages back for that 4 years and 200 extra games, would you take it?
Probably. There's other stories behind that, like coming to Wycombe, there was deals done where I had to take a wage drop, and I did that for 6 months to come and play for the club, or not play for the club, but for my mental side, I chose to do it. And look, for me, I will leave football with what I've got. Yes, you leave with your money, but it depends what you do with money. And this is what I say to the lads here. It's like, you could play a full career in 95 and not have any money, but you would be a legend of the game. And which do you want? And it's not for me to say what people want, because some people want to be rich, some people want to leave a football. I'd like to do both. But look, money's not everything, and again, that's something I learned, that happiness sometimes is key. And look, I'd love to have 200 extra games, but I don't live with regrets. I live with lessons, and some lessons you have to take, and it's how you take them, and it shaped me as a person even more. And hopefully I leave with good memories for everyone at the football club. And like you could see today with Rob coming in, he was like one of the players. He got a bit of fun, and that's how I am. And people who take me how I am know that I'm a genuine person underneath, and it's all about smiles.
Is it true when you came for your first loan spell at Wycombe, you had to get a slightly more modest car to turn up with training in?
Who told you that? Back in Fenway?
I'd never reveal my sources, Stocko.
Yeah, it wasn't like... Because I got a car, and it was a bucket list car. It was very much from young, and it was like, what would you get? And it was this car, and I got it. And when I got it, it was a bit like, well, I don't want to drive it. And anyway, I came, and I thought, you can't turn up. It makes you look bad. So I bought a normal car like I've had before. And then a few people obviously found out and said, what's going on here? And I'm very close with B. So he was like, I can't believe what I've just heard. Is this right? And I said, yeah, I just did it. So I made a bit of a joke when I first came, and when I left, the gaff was, Stocko's got to go back to Birmingham. And I was like, he said, anything to say, Stocko? I said, does anyone want to buy a car? And it cracked the whole bus up, and a bit of tension went, but I kept that car for another 2 years after and used it, so it got good use. But it wasn't about anything other than I kept saying about petrol consumption, but you can't be seen to be better than anyone, because everyone's the same. And there's times when I have to go and speak to younger players and say, oh, what about this? Have you done this? You're never too old to learn. You're never too rich to learn. You're never too and you got to appreciate what you've got. And for me, at that point, it wasn't something that I wanted to do and make me look bad and could possibly affect others' views of me.
As a player, are you aware, the pandemic's really brought this to the fore as well, the crazy finances in football, the Championship especially, some insane figures out there. Birmingham were probably as guilty as anybody else in that respect. As players, are you aware of that and the impact it has and how worried us fans get about our clubs?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, you can only do or take what a club's offering. You can't control how they control their finances. We are, as I say, for hire. Players are for hire, and that's all it is for a certain amount of time. But I've been very involved with Rob and Pete, as in not involved with the club, but I like to ask questions. I learn every side business. And although they don't tell me unlimited figures, they just say, this is the case, this is what it takes to get a football club through. And I actually own a Step 7 non-league football team, so I know that the sides, what you have to do, the volunteers, the people who help out, the staff members that work so hard here, because we haven't got as many, they have to fill a lot of roles, and it makes you realise that we are lucky. Like, footballers are lucky what we get. Today we're sat in here, we've just got in there, they've eaten after the lads after putting on a photo shoot and doing videos for fans, and that's what they have to go through day in, day out. So that's why we have photo shoots and things after the season, to appreciate those people who are helping us.
So you own a Step 7 club. I don't want to talk to you about not playing, but obviously Father Time will catch up with us all eventually. Yeah. Is that the future for David Stockdale then? Is that, club, bring a small club up? Yeah,
look, I wanted to get into the business side rather than the coaching. I like business. I wanted to, because of what I'd seen before and the effects that Rob and Pete have had and talking to them, they're aware of what I do there, and I told them that, and they've been very helpful in the way, because they're very, very shrewd businessmen away from this, and learning off them people has been able to put it into my little football club, and I've got some great people who are involved with me in that, and it was again somewhere that I'd go away from Birmingham and enjoy my time. We won a couple of cups. We could have gone up. We was 15 points clear, but null and void because of COVID, and again this year. So, well, who knows? But that is a little bit of a bucket list for me to get them as high as I can.
COVID's had a massive impact, not just on football, but life in general. Professional football continued, I think, which shows you the level it's held in at this country. As an older player, have you seen the impact it's had on players as well in terms of, concerns, health, etc.?
Yeah, definitely, because there's all different races, and when we was getting things about the different races and can get affected by the virus, it was a conversation we had to have within our club, right? Because if they didn't feel safe, we was with anybody who didn't feel safe. If you felt like you couldn't do it because of family reasons or anything, then we was with them. Like, say, I think there's a couple of players that didn't play because of that. And look, that's their decision. That's health at the end of the day. Football won't last forever for them people. And if it was my choice and I felt that way, I wouldn't play either.
And now you're an elder statesman in the dressing room, as an older player. You help the younger players, you said that. If you could talk to, I don't know, a 17, 18-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell them?
Keep smiling. Things ain't going to go to plan, but you've got to enjoy it because, again, I keep mentioning it, we're lucky. We're lucky to have this. I think there's some silly stats out there that tell you how many people don't make it. So to be involved, you've got to live every day. You've got to 100% every day, and the good thing about it, the gaffer demands 100% every day, and sometimes, as you say, the elder statesman, maybe 98%, me, Blooms and B, but we give everything. And me and B talk all the time that how quick it's gone, and it's like that, but I'll also say there's something else after. You might be 40, 38, you've only lived half your life, hopefully. What are you going to do? How are you going to frame yourself for your next part of your life?
I think a lot of people are going to find listening to this quite inspirational. And I want the final thing, and this isn't about football, this is about life in general. What would your soundbite or advice be to someone who's had a disappointment in their life, or, how do you deal with that? How would you advise them to get over that and get on with things and go on and achieve?
My big message is, whatever your concerns, I always tell my kids that whatever you've done, if you speak to someone, there's always a solution. It might not be a solution that you like or want to do, but there's always a way out. There's always something, but somebody has to know. Somebody has to be able to give that olive branch and help you out. And look, I've been there. Don't let anybody think that footballers stand in a different light. Everybody has, I don't want to say skeletons but a point in their life where they go through something that they might feel embarrassed about. They might feel like they can't tell someone, but I can guarantee you that person that you're probably telling has either gone through something similar, or knows someone, or something has happened in their life that they've had to go through that they haven't had anyone to talk to. So for me, a big thing, whoever you are, I don't care if you're male, female, whatever, anyone in the world can speak to somebody. It doesn't have to be a friend. It could be someone they don't even know. But the biggest thing for me is to talk. I'm a talker, so I'll analyse what someone said and work out my strategy from there. Make them feel that there is something for them, and that's why a lot of charity work that I do is I want to be there. I don't want to just give things away. I want to be there, be face to face to it. Like me and B have got some things that we might go abroad and be face to face and see things, because I like to see things, and people get an energy off you, and when they see that you care, it's about interaction, and I'm a very interactive person. I'll always speak to anyone and make anyone laugh, have a little bit of banter or whatever, because it's at that point they come back at you and go, oh, that was nice. You didn't have to do that. No, I didn't. But if everyone could be more like that, and my big thing is footballers ain't the big pedestal thing. They are normal people that go home and lead normal lives, and after football, you're an ex-footballer, so is people just not going to talk to you because you're an ex-footballer? So no, I enjoy, and it could be anyone, and my messages on social media are always open for, I've helped a couple of people with advice, and I'll always continue to do that.
All right, one final one, promise this is the last one. Out of contract in the summer, Wycombe fans have taken you to their hearts. Will you be here next season?
That's not a question for me, is it? The big boss man's here now. You'll have to ask him. Look.
If you're offered a deal, you take it, right?
Well, if I'm offered a deal, I might have to go in boardroom next door and give Rob a few apologies after today's photo shoot. But no, like you say, I got on really well. And look, if they was to shake my hand and say thanks very much for your service, I'll shake their hand, and I'll always speak highly of this club. And look, I could be here for another 5 years and I'll still have to shake their hand at the end of it because I won't be able to move. But no, to be honest, I have not thought about it. This is the first season I've just been good. I've really been good. I'm at peace, as they say. Me and Akin Fenn would just spend nights talking about being at peace. We're good. We're in a good space, and whatever comes, and I can deal with that. And as long as I'm giving my all to the club, and they can see that I'm doing that, I really, whatever they want to do.
Big thanks to Stocko for his time. It was great to hear about his career and also his time at Adams Park. I'm sure a lot of fans would love him to stay for longer into next season and maybe beyond. Well, normally I speak to Rob Couhig about the plans for the club down the line. It often involves him being attacked by his dog Buster, but he was at Adams Park for the Luton game. So after the match, on the side of the pitch, I had a chat with him and his nephew Pete.
It's tough. You know what? Was it 21 minutes left to go in the game? We felt like we had it in hand, and all of a sudden you get one of those calls that easily disputable and kind of puts a damper on the trip.
Well, football aside, it's great to see you back here at Adams Park as well. I know you've been missing being here and having your impact on match days as well, but, what are you here to do? I'm guessing it's the planning for next season.
Well, you are correct. We came over, obviously we had to go through the quarantine period, but during that time we were able to begin planning for next year, and I feel good about that. Off the pitch, Pete's group is terrific. I mean, we're operating on the smallest staff in the Championship League, and we're doing probably the best job. So we want to talk about giving them more resources for next year, and that's regardless of league. I'm planning for the championship still, Philip. Nothing's changed. I am 100% committed to that. So we spent time with that. And then I spent a day interviewing everybody on the playing side of the equation from the staff to make sure we're doing everything they need us to do and giving them all that they need us to do. So we will continue to do that. I think that we have a real good understanding. We have some changes we'll be making to upgrade on that side, and they're all exciting. So, look, we are in a place. I don't buy into nobody expected us to be here. I expected us to be here. I expect us to be here next year, and I know one thing: we're going to be better on the pitch, and we're going to be better off the pitch next year. That's the commitment.
Here we are near the end of the season. I mean, financially, it's been really hard for all the professional football clubs. But Wycombe being in the Championship with that extra money coming in from the TV, where are they? Where are the club placed financially, whatever division they're in next season?
We're in the best position, from what I understand, Wycombe has ever been in. I give a lot of credit to Pete. He's a great CFO. He keeps me from overspending, or he tries to be fair. Gareth has been very understanding. We set about to be financially sustainable. We are. I think if we're in the Championship League next year, we have Our budget's ready to go. If something unusual happens and we're not, we're ready to go, and we will be financially sustainable again next year with many, many improvements to the playing side, the playing staff, our side, and the structure. Adams Park will be one of the best stadiums in the UK.
Fans, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be back in August, regardless of what division Wycombe are in. You've always said it's about the fan experience as well, and fans doubtless will be looking forward to coming back anyway, even if there is no beer. But I'm sure there will be wonderful things for the fans to experience off the pitch as well.
Yeah, start with Wi-Fi in every seat so that you'll be able to order your food and drink from your seat, so that you can go over and pick it up paperlessly, in terms of payments. Actually coming into the stadium, you'll be able to do it all paperlessly. The big scoreboard will be in. Our sound systems will be in. We're going to rip up the field and make sure it's in pristine shape for next year. We're looking at little things like new seats and stuff like that. The bathrooms will be better. The food will be spectacular. I had the opportunity to taste some of it today, and it's going to be world class. That part of it is done, or is well on the way to being done. And we do it with the smallest staff in all of the Championship League. I am so proud of those folks.
Maybe even League One.
Well, Pete, the obvious question is, what's it like having Uncle Rob stuck in your house for how many days?
It's been nice. Everybody's asked that. Honestly, it's been a pleasure, because I've been stuck in my flat by myself. I'm not afraid to admit the last lockdown got to me, Phil. I'm ready for some freedom. I'm ready for some company. I'm ready for that. And even if it's Uncle Rob staying at my flat interrogating me 24/7 for an entire week, I was good with it.
That is the funny part. When I'm getting on the plane, Missy said, "Don't you and Pete go at it." I said, "It's not going to happen." She says, "And for God's sakes, you don't have to ask him questions at 6:30 in the morning until y'all go to sleep at night." Well, we didn't go at it, but there have been questions. We are into this 24/7. Pete stays up a little later than me, but we start again in the morning with budgets. We start with players. We start with coaching. We go through every aspect.
It's honestly, I was looking forward to it. When I was home a few weeks ago, Rob and I sort of mapped out a plan of what we thought needed to happen during the time that he was here. We're Couhigs, man. My grandfather, Rob's dad, taught us that business is life. Life is business. We are not afraid of. It is what we talk about. So it was good for the business, because it really gave us a lot of time over the last week to talk about where we were, where we've come, what we need to do to move forward to get ourselves. We're the type of people that will never stop asking questions, never stop trying to improve. And so weeks like this are very critical, very important. We missed them this year. Rob, the fact that this is Rob's first time here is a shame, because it would have helped us on the business side, because the combination of me from the finance perspective and Rob from the...
Be careful here. Let's go with the soft word of promotional side.
There we go. No, it's a good partnership, and so the fact that there's been a little bit of disconnect has held us back, I think, a little bit commercially. I do think we've improved everything across the board, from the football side to the business side. So this has been a great year. We're one of the more successful championship clubs financially. I don't even think it's by any measure. So we're ready. Either way, whether we stay up, whether we go down, we have a good plan for next year.
I think you've missed an opportunity here. At Home with the Couhigs, Fly on the Wall YouTube series. I'd have watched it.
We actually talked about that, and we interviewed some people who wanted to do it. And we came close to thinking about doing it. But you know what? We've got to take care of business first.
Yeah, correct.
And if we do it,
I'm not really sure I'm ready for prime time.
Right. And if we do it, we have to bring Pete's dad into it because that'll add a dimension, and then Missy into it, and then my son into it, and then I don't know that anybody.
England's not ready for all of us.
That's right.
Right, that's your lot then for this week. Many thanks again to David Stockdale and Pete and Rob Couhig as well for their time after the game against Luton. We'll be back soon, hopefully with more news of wins for Wycombe Wanderers in their unlikely survival bid in the Championship. You never know though. Don't stop believing and come on you Blues.